Alrighty guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I got a whole backstrap out of a whitetail deer. This is actually from a buck. As you can see, it's pretty nice size. Might be a little shorter than usual. I might have had to trim off a little extra, but as you can see, it's got all this fat and silver skin and everything. On the outside, this is going to be the outside. This is what's going to be facing out towards his skin, is this right here. And this is what's going to be inside next to his spine. Another time I might upload a video of me actually taking one of these out and quartering up the deer, but for today I'll show you how to make this taste good. So you know, a lot of people, like I say all the time, they say they don't like deer meat. The only reason that you wouldn't like deer meat is if it wasn't done correctly. As you can see, like if it was a regular steak and stuff, a lot of times they leave that fat and tallow and everything on there, but you can't do that with deer. It just doesn't work that way. It's tough, it gets waxy. So what we're gonna do is show you how to make this trim down and taste good. So first thing I like to do, and some people trim it out, the whole part before they go ahead and trim it out. Since I usually work on a smaller cutting board, I got bigger ones, but because this one's just easier to work with, I like to cut it down into little sections. So usually, you know, me and my wife, it's just the two of us, so I like to do about 6-inch sections. So I'll go ahead and cut it down into sizes that I'm gonna wanna use. There's one. And then I'll trim this down here. And really, I know that I'm gonna be cutting into this next because you can see silver skin separates that right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this back a little farther because I know I'm gonna have to trim that anyway. So I'm gonna cut that down there. That'll be a serving size as well. And then you're left with this end piece here. And really this is gonna turn into about 2. Some people just use it as some trim because it's not very big. But we'll go ahead and put that down to the side. And really all I do is, it really helps to have the right knife. This is a Dexter Russell. It's a semi-flex boning knife. As you can see, it can get underneath that skin a lot easier. Sorry, the silver skin and tallow. So I want to be right up against the meat, and this allows me to get in there and do that. So one thing that's really easy is just to flip it over and go right underneath there and start cutting. As you can see, this is kind of stiff. I do like to have my meat a little frozen. I like to think that it works up better when it's really thawed out. It's hard to work with. It's slimy. It slides all over the place. So I like to have it a little frozen. So come in there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and just follow that all the way down. And this is not something you want to be wasteful on because this is great stuff. My favorite part of the deer is the backstrap. So I want to get as close to it as possible, not waste that much. So I discard that. And really the next cut, I'm just going to get right underneath there again. And I'm going to pull towards it. And really I'm going to put my blade up a little bit so I'm not cutting into the meat as much. Some of that's real thick, as you can see. It's a little hard to get through. And you can see it's starting to look a little meatier. That's not going to taste good. That is super rubbery. It's not going to be something that you want in your meat at all. And just go and get all that silver skin off. Get your knife underneath there. And if you pull while you cut, it makes the process a little easier. And I'm going to go ahead and keep cutting that down. Next thing you know, that's how you want it to look. You don't want any of that silver skin, tallow, any fat or anything on there. You just want a nice meat, lean piece of meat. And you can leave it like this, you can freeze it, you can wrap it up. What I like to do is either vacuum seal it, or sometimes I take some saran wrap, tie it real tight and put some butcher paper on it, and that really does keep the best way. Sometimes you can also even cut it into fillets, so if you want 1.5-inch, 2-inch fillets, you could do it that way as well. I like to leave it like that because it's just easier. I can make that decision that night if I want to do fillets, or I can do it this way. So that's done.